Hey guys, so I thought today I would do a how to clean your brushes video because my brushes are getting kind of gross. So I figured I'd just make a video about how I like to clean my brushes. So the first thing I like to do is, you know how your brushes, they get the hair in them, especially during shedding season, and you don't really want all that clogging up your drain. So what I do to get the hair off my brushes is I take a metal shedding blade and I just run it over my brush like this a few times. I don't know if you can see all that dirt coming off. It's kind of gross. And it helps get some of the hair off of the brush. Oh, that smells gross. It's a little bit harder with the longer brushes, but it's better than nothing. So you can do that. And then here's another brush. It works better on these shorter brushes. See, it has short bristles, so it works a bit better. And this really isn't hard on your brushes. It works really well. And it doesn't, like, move their bristles or anything. See, all that hair. So, oh, this is gross. It's a really good idea to keep your brushes clean because even though they're going to get dirty again right away, it's still better to keep them clean because, you know, you get a lot of bacteria and stuff on them, and it's a good idea to keep them clean because they'll last longer and they'll be cleaner for your horses so they're not getting any bacteria or anything. So, there's that part. I'm going to finish the rest of my brushes and then be back in a minute to show you the next step. Okay, now that I've gotten all the loose hair off of my brushes, I'm going to rinse them before I put them in the soap. So that way they get the maximum... Oh, sorry, you can't see. Well, you can kind of see now. Okay, so you want to rinse them off so that way you can be getting the maximum amount of, here, I'll come over here and do this, dirt off before you brush them. That way the soap stays a little bit cleaner when you're cleaning them, so that way it can worry about getting the really deep dirt instead of the just loose whatever kind of dirt on them. So rinse them off pretty well. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but just getting the loose stuff off of there. And I don't recommend super hot water. Probably a little bit above room temperature, because you want it to be warm, but you don't want it to be, like, really, really hot. So get those nice and wet. If you have, all of my brushes they don't have wood or leather backs, but if yours do, you can just kind of do this and try to keep the back dry. You just have to be a little more careful, but yeah, you don't really have to worry about it if you have plastic or rubber backs. Okay, and now let me get, sorry, my dogs are barking. Let me get the soap ready and I'll be right back to show you the next step. Okay, you can use baby soap for washing your brushes, or you can go ahead and buy some brush soap. I bought Brush Therapy, and it's only about $2. And so what you do is you make sure you have your plug in your sink, and you go ahead and just sprinkle it through the sink. You use the whole package. Ooh, it's sizzling. Do you hear that? And then you add some water. It's supposed to be about a gallon. I don't think specifics really matter, though. So you get that. That wasn't supposed to happen. You get that all through there. This brush soap smells kind of strong, but it gets the job done, so yeah. So now that that's there, you can go ahead and take your brushes and just kind of move them around in the water for a little bit to get them nice and clean. And even if you have real hair brushes, like, you know, not synthetic, this is perfectly safe for them. It's just fine to use on them. So get them nice and clean. See, like, this one is real hair. It's not synthetic, well, besides the heart in the middle. And it's perfectly safe to use on these brushes. You just need to make sure that they get rinsed really well so that they're not going to have any residue on them that's going to irritate the horse's skin. So you can scrub them pretty well. It doesn't really matter how often you do this. I recommend it probably every 3 or 4 months. You could do it more often, but it is a little bit hard on your brushes. So you don't want to be doing it to them all the time. Okay. And you're supposed to let these soak for 8 minutes. So, I'll be back in 8 minutes. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes, and now I'm ready to rinse these off. So, I'm just going to pull the plug, let all that water drain. And I'm still going to use warm water and just start rinsing them off. You want to make sure you rinse them really well because you don't want any residue left over. That might irritate the horse's skin. Since this soap is specifically meant for horse brushes, it really shouldn't be a problem, but you still want to make sure you rinse them really thoroughly because you don't want any residue in there, just because it can get kind of gross and build up. So, make sure that they're rinsed really well. And after that, if the backs of your brushes are dirty, from soaking they get pretty clean, but if they're still a little bit dirty, you can take a Mr. Clean sponge, just these white ones, and get it a little wet, squeeze it out, and kind of scrub the back of your brush. But again, this is only if it's plastic or rubber. Don't do this to a wood or leather back because that will pretty much destroy it. So, you can rub those off and then rinse it. Looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, once that's done, you're going to put your brushes to dry. So, let me do that, and I'll tell you the next step in just a second. Okay, now you're going to be cleaning your stuff that isn't a brush. So, like a grooming mitt, a curry, jelly scrubber, fine curry, and your sweat scraper. So, really easy with these since they're just rubber and plastic. You're just going to rinse them off. You could use soap, but you don't really need to because they clean up really easily. So just rinse them off, make them look all shiny and new again. With the fine curry, something you could do is get an old toothbrush or some Q-tips and go in there and clean out in between if you really felt like it. Sorry, my camera cut off because it ran out of space. So, what I was saying was just finish rinsing them off. Nothing too special. And then, once you get all of those rinsed, put those out to dry as well. Okay, so once you get all your brushes clean, you obviously don't want to put them back in something that's dirty. So what you want to do is get all the excess hair and dirt laying at the bottom of the compartments out of the box, which I already did, and then you can go through with just a rag and kind of wipe it out. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. And just wipe it out a little. Doesn't really matter how clean it gets. And then if you want, you can get the Mr. Clean sponge out again and kind of wipe things down. This really isn't necessary. It's only if you want to. So this is what your brushes and other things should look like when they're out to dry. I just laid a towel down and put everything on there. You want your brushes bristle down so that the towel can try to draw the water out of them. You can try to dry it a little yourself too, but if you leave them here for a couple hours, they should dry just fine. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Sorry the video was a little choppy and thrown together, but, if I would have made it one long continuous video, it would have lasted forever, so. Yep, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave any comments or suggestions down below or personal message me. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.